How's it going, guys? We are back on another video here, and this video is going to be the best settings to use in NHL 26 Hockey Ultimate Team. All right, so I'm going to kind of go over, the best, controller settings, the camera settings, all that good stuff. So hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're not already. Let's hop into the video right now. All right, so basically where you want to go here for these settings is you go all the way to the My Team section and then go to Settings, and then here are your options. So you have accessibility, audio and visual, and controller settings, and on-ice trainer. Now, I'll say this. So for on-ice trainer, realistically, I'm someone that's a grinder, a die-hard. I kind of know every single thing about this, right? Like I know, I don't really need, I guess, tutorials on, where to shoot, where to pass. It can be useful. I would say probably the one that could be decent is the pass suggestions. Like sometimes, like if you guys are not maybe super great at passing, I think having the pass suggestions on could be really actually good because it gives you more of a look of maybe something you might not see if you're not like, super aware of how the AI is going to play. All right, so I'd say that's not a bad one to put on. Offside warning also I've considered. That one I think is not bad to put on either. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes offside warnings, they don't really show up, and then it gets a little bit confusing. So I don't know. Honestly, it's not a bad idea, especially if you don't really look at the scoreboard every 2 seconds either. And then the HUD objectives, realistically, it can get a little bit annoying. So I really would say most of you guys should probably turn it off. I keep it on just, I like to kind of see when the objectives are being complete, but it does get a little bit annoying at times, but I'm kind of silly. I guess I always end up just leaving it on. All right, now the next thing is the controller settings here. Now, guys, for me, skill stick is still the best. I am not a believer in total control. I just don't like it. I don't prefer it. Is it bad total control? No, but I think skill stick is still the most consistent one that I feel like I can never really get away from. I guess maybe you can call me old school, but I don't ever want to get rid of skill stick. I think it's got to be the one I kind of rock with for a while. Auto backskate has to be off. This is something that if you don't turn off, you're going to be in absolute shambles, guys. Absolute shambles. When it's on, you basically can't skate back on defense without getting burned. Especially if you have, I don't know, imagine a Sergei Fedorov with wheels going up the gut against you. Yeah, you're going to be in trouble with auto backskate on. So definitely turn that off. Shooting controls, keep that camera relative. Vibration, I play with it on. I know maybe some people think that's a little bit shocking, but I think vibration on. I personally like, kind of having like the feel when I crush somebody that my I almost said my phone, my controller vibrates. I don't know. I personally like that. I do. Online pass assist. So this is usually set at 100. I put it to 95 because I don't really want to be like such an automatic, like it's going to automatically just kind of pass assist to a player maybe I don't want it to go to, right? I want to have some sort of potential of having more control over my passes. So definitely keep that at 95. You can go a little bit lower if you want as well, but I think 95 is pretty good. Goalie controls here, you're going to put it on default. Human goalie covers, put that on manual, and then hug post definitely on manual. Tether off. Now, this is not a super important thing because as far as I'm concerned, you're not going to really be in many shootouts here in HUT anymore because ranked, rivals had shootouts last year and all of that, but not this year. So unless Wildcard has, games where it can go to shootout, otherwise you're not going to really be playing with your goalie very often, except for like penalty shots, of course, which in that one, I would say definitely still use these settings that I'm recommending. Player common settings. Now, this is manual passing. You want that on. Icon passing. I will leave that on. I think icon passing can be pretty useful and pretty helpful for players. Even myself, I'm someone that, is more of a grinder and a diehard, I would say. A hardcore player is probably the word I'm looking for. I would say probably leave the icon passing on. I think it'd be very smart to do that. And then, guys, for some of the other ones here, the accessibility here. Now, color blindness, I put it on default. I'm not colorblind, so I don't like to really mess with that too much. Brightness, it depends on, what you're looking for here. For contrast, I leave that on 50 as well. Player name indicator, I like to leave that on personally because I think that, I want to see who has the puck, and yeah, I can tell by numbers and stuff like that. But, my opponents in particular, I think it's more useful. Player indicator size, You know, I keep that at medium as well. The puck size, I think it should be on normal here as well. Puck highlight should also be normal. I think you should probably kind of stick with these settings. These are kind of the default visual accessibility settings here. And then, of course, so for like audio as well, this is all preference, of course. I personally turn, menu music off, arena music off, commentary off, because, I'm recording videos and streaming, so I don't want that to be, in the videos as well. And then controller, accessibility, we already talked about that. And then if you want to have, text-to-speech on, that's a whole other thing, but, that's not something that I really recommend either. For the audio and visual settings, guys, now this is a big one, all right? Now, auto zoom is off for me, so that's something I recommend turning off as well. So definitely turn that off. Camera, I have played on overhead for years and years. I can't remember the last time I didn't use overhead for my camera. It's been such a long time here, and I really think that you should keep rocking with overhead. I just don't understand why you really wouldn't use this. I think it's the best. You can see most of the ice. The other one that I could say I'd recommend is not broadcast. I think classic is not bad. I think overhead or classic are kind of the main two that I'd recommend. Overhead to me is probably the best though. Camera perspective, you want that to be prefer up for sure. Skater fatigue indicator, you want that on. I mean, I think you want to know if your player's, gas. I think that's kind of important. Player indicator size, we saw that, medium. All-screen player indicator. Now, this setting controls whether player indicators will appear when players are outside the view of the game camera. I think you want that on as well. Pressure meter. This, I think, it's not a necessity, guys, because, yeah, you can kind of get an idea when something's about to be active, but along the boards, it'll say when pressure is fully active anyway. So it's not like you're going to be unaware of when it's happening, but you're not going to know when the meter's actually loading up. I'd still leave it on, though. Skill-based one-timer, you definitely want that on. You want to know when that is a potential thing, right? I feel like face-off light show, if it's something that, like, might bother you with all, like, the flashing strobe lights, especially in Dallas, I would turn that off, honestly. Goalie anticipation indicator, that one you can leave that on as well. Player name indicator, you want that on. Toggle indicator, shift length, yeah, I mean, I don't think that has anything to do with HUT. Definitely leave that on. X Factor ability visuals. If that gets a little bit like distracting for you guys where it keeps popping up every 2 seconds, I could totally understand that, but I will leave that on as well. Toggle post goal flow. So this one will always result in the game displaying the post goal overlays above goal scorer, and up to 2 assisting players. Off will turn off all post-goal overlays. So if you kind of don't really want to see all that extra stuff. Fighting instructions, realistically, I mean, I'm going to turn that off. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, I know how to fight. Goalie camera, fixed. Definitely make your goalie camera fixed, guys. That is, to me, the best one for a goaltender. Defensive positioning, this is, I don't really know what that is. Off. Offensive positioning, off as well. Positional indicators, I think you probably leave that off. Puck highlight, yeah, so we've already kind of seen all of that. Then for the score clock overlay, guys, put that in authentic. And then for the shootout camera, that's another one that's kind of, I would say, just preference as well. I would probably recommend just rocking with the one that you use for, your main gameplay. But for me, I keep it on dynamic low because I think it's kind of like a little mini game for me. So, haha, it's funny just to try something a little bit different there. But those are, generally all my settings, guys, for, NHL 26. Let me know what you guys think. My strategies video is coming out as well today. So be on the lookout for that. Hopefully, you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like. Subscribe if you're new here. Follow me on Twitch. Henreek, I'm live there every single day. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and you get 3 E's. And I'll see you guys in the next video.